Hey, if you're a cat owner, you are going to want to listen up. We're about to run through 10 common human foods that you should absolutely never, ever give to your cat. And I promise you, some of these are going to be a real surprise. Come on, we've all been there, right? You're having a snack, and you see those big, beautiful eyes staring up at you. It just feels mean not to share a little piece. I mean, what could it possibly hurt? Well, maybe more than you think.
And yeah, that's what most of us think, that just a tiny bite is a harmless little treat. But what if I told you that some of the most normal, everyday foods in your kitchen are actually really dangerous? And some are even straight up toxic for cats.
So first up, let's just tear down the most famous cat treat in all of history, shall we? That classic saucer of milk. I mean, we've seen it in cartoons for our entire lives, but it turns out that whole idea is just wrong.
You know, this is probably one of the biggest myths in the world of pet care. Sure, kittens drink their mother's milk, no problem. But most adult cats, they're actually lactose intolerant. As they get older, their bodies just stop making the stuff they need to properly digest the lactose in cow's milk.
So what happens when they lap up that treat? Well, it's not great. That saucer of milk can lead to some really unpleasant issues for them, like an upset stomach, gas, and even diarrhea. Honestly, your best bet? Just stick to fresh, clean water. Okay, so if the milk thing is a myth, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Let's head into our pantry and fridge, because some of the most common things we cook with are literally hiding in plain sight as major threats to your cat. First on that list, onions and garlic. And this means all forms of them. We're talking raw, cooked, powdered, the whole shebang. They're a staple for us, but for cats, they are incredibly toxic. And here's why it's so serious. There are compounds in onions and garlic that can actually attack and destroy a cat's red blood cells. This can lead to a really dangerous condition called anemia, so you've got to be super careful with any leftovers that might have them. All right, next up on our list of things that seem totally fine are grapes and their wrinkly little cousins, raisins. To us, they're just a healthy, sweet snack. But for a cat, this is a huge no-go. Even just 1 or 2 grapes or raisins can cause sudden, acute kidney failure. And what's really scary is that scientists still don't even know what it is in them that's so toxic. The only safe thing to do is keep them far, far away. Now, let's get into a hot topic you might see debated online: raw food diets. While some people swear by them, giving your cat raw eggs or raw meat comes with some pretty big risks you need to know about. The main danger here is all about bacteria. Just like for us, raw meat and eggs can be crawling with nasty stuff like salmonella and E. coli, and that can give your cat a terrible case of food poisoning. It's not worth the gamble. All right, so we've covered some basic kitchen ingredients. Now, let's talk about the snacks and the leftovers we might be tempted to share right off our own plates. These are things you need to keep far away, no exceptions. This one is probably the one most people know about, but it's so important that it's worth shouting from the rooftops. Chocolate is a massive danger. And while all chocolate is bad, dark chocolate and baking chocolate are the absolute worst. See, chocolate has these 2 substances, theobromine and caffeine, that cats just can't process properly. If they eat it, it can cause some awful symptoms like vomiting, muscle tremors, heart problems, and even seizures. Okay, next, let's lump 2 common table scrap temptations together. I'm talking about cooked bones from a chicken or steak and salty snacks like potato chips or pretzels. So these 2 things are dangerous in completely different ways. Cooked bones get really brittle and they can splinter into sharp pieces. That's a major choking hazard, and they can even puncture your cat's insides. And on the other hand, super salty foods can cause dehydration and, in really bad cases, sodium poisoning. Okay, I want to take a pause here because this next category is on a whole other level. The things we're about to talk about aren't just bad. They're extremely dangerous, even in the tiniest amounts. We're talking about caffeine in alcohol, and this isn't just about your morning coffee or a glass of beer. Think about tea, soda, energy drinks. Basically, anything containing caffeine or alcohol is off limits. For a cat, any real amount of caffeine can be fatal. It causes rapid breathing, heart palpitations, muscle tremors. It's awful. And alcohol, even a lick or 2, can cause serious liver and brain damage. Their little bodies just can't handle it. All right, for our last one, I've got something that might actually surprise you.
It's not going to poison your cat in the same way chocolate would, but it's still something you should never make a habit of giving them. Dog food.
So why does this matter? Well, if your cat sneaks a bite of the dog's dinner, it's not a crisis. But feeding them dog food regularly is really, really bad for them. Cats have very specific dietary needs. They need much more protein and certain nutrients like taurine that dog food just doesn't have. Over time, it can lead to some serious health problems. Phew. Okay, after hearing all that, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. But please don't be. Keeping your cat safe and healthy is actually super straightforward. It really just boils down to one simple two-part rule. And here it is. It's so easy. Step 1, just feed them food that is made for cats. That's it. It's scientifically formulated to give them everything they need. And step 2, and this is maybe the most important part, if you are ever in doubt about whether a food is safe, don't guess, just call your vet. That's what they're there for. So, the big takeaway here is that what looks like a harmless treat to you can be a real danger to them. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Now that you know about the dangers lurking in your kitchen, what about the rest of your home? Things like houseplants or cleaning supplies. It really pays to stay vigilant and keep our furry friends safe.